I just finished a workout and it was only 60 seconds. I'm going to be doing these micro workouts for the next 30 days only, and I'm going to see what happens to my body. You may have heard of micro workouts or exercise snacks, and these are short bursts of intermittent, vigorous activity.
Well, it's like...
There's a lot of studies emerging about micro workouts. One showed that doing micro workouts can reduce your risk of cancer, cardiovascular disease, and all-cause mortality. Not only that, but micro workouts have been shown to improve glucose levels and even body composition. I personally believe in micro workouts, and that's why I created an app called the 60-Second Workouts app, specifically for desk-bound professionals. Today is day 4, but I'm going to take you back to day 0 when I took some measurements for my body composition, and then I actually took some more measurements measuring my strength in the gym. So for the next 30 days, I'm going to just be doing micro workouts. I'm not going to be doing any gym workouts or anything like that. I usually do about a 45 to an hour long session of resistance training, weight training at my gym. My gym is in my basement. And so what I've done is I've taken 1 month off from resistance training, and it's been really tough. And the reason I've done this is to kind of simulate me as a beginner, as someone who doesn't work out, because I think these micro workouts are perfect for someone who is just getting into fitness. So I'm kind of pretending that I'm a beginner, and I'm going to do these micro workouts and see if I can maintain my strength and body composition. Not just maintain, but maybe even slightly improve. And so I'm going to be doing either 5 or 6 micro workouts per day, and that's it. So I'm going to accumulate about 5 minutes of total workouts, resistance training, body weight resistance training per day. And I'm not going to do anything more than that. You know, I'm still going to go on walks and stuff and do what I normally do, but I'm not going to resistance train. I'm just going to do body weight micro workouts. I do have a weighted vest that I'm probably going to wear for some of them just for added resistance. And I think that's something that people might want to invest in if they want to do these micro workouts and want a little bit more of a challenge without buying like a whole gym set. So anyways, without further ado, I'm going to begin this experiment. I already have, it's day 4, but we're going to rewind back to day 0. Stay tuned and let's see if these micro workouts work. And so here on day 0, I'm going to go ahead and step on my Hume Health scale. I've blurred my feet for your convenience, and I use a multi-metric approach here when I'm measuring for change. So I have my scale, and then I'm going to take some body measurements with my Renpho tape measure, and as you can see, my progress pictures as well. And I'll compare this all at the end of the video. And up next, I'm going to take another metric, which is my strength. I'm going to test 4 lifts. I'm going to test my close grip bench press. I'm still having a little bit of shoulder issues. I've had them on and off for a while now. It's just easier for me to close grip bench press. I'm not going to go for a true max. I'm just going to try to keep the reps relatively low. I'm going to do squats, and then my squats are going to be modified because of my Achilles tendon rupture injury. You know, it's been a year since I've ruptured my Achilles. It's a lot better, but I still don't have a full range of motion. I'm not going to do a deadlift. Again, I can't get as good of dorsiflexion with the one leg, so I just don't want to, you know, risk my back or anything like that by doing deadlifts. Close grip bench press, squat, pull-ups. I'm going to do pull-ups, and then I'm just going to do dumbbell curls just kind of for fun. So here we go. All right, here I am with close grip. I'm just doing some warm-up sets here. For my working set, I do 185, and I'm speeding it up 3 times so you don't have to watch me struggle through this. I get this for 7 reps. Then on to squats, some more warm-up sets here. And then I eventually put 225 on the bar, and I also squat this for 7 reps. So I want to show you the whole thing so you can see that I'm putting in the effort here. And then after squats, moving on to pull-ups, I just do a couple warm-up sets here. And then I have a 65-pound dumbbell, and I get 8 reps, 8.5 reps maybe But again, I just want to show you that I'm putting in a full effort. And then for curls, I have 55-pound dumbbells, and I get 12 reps right here. And so it began. I filmed myself doing multiple micro workouts throughout the weeks of doing this experiment. This is the first half of the experiment. I just wanted to give you an example of some of the micro workouts that I did. And this one is kind of long here, but I just wanted to show you the end of a set with push-ups, because since I was doing such little volume, I knew I had to make each micro workout count. So I would basically go to failure or as close to failure as I safely could, depending on the workout. I actually did a lot of abs during this. I was kind of surprised. So here's a shot of me doing some abs. And then this I call a side plank with a twist. I liked that exercise. Here I am doing some jump squats with my weighted vest. And for these, I'd go as close to failure as I could. So these are just some examples from the first half of the experiment. Alright, it's been a little over halfway through this experiment, and I just wanted to tell you a couple things I'm doing and noticing. So the first thing that I'm noticing is when I do these micro workouts, I kind of want to do more, and so I kind of have to hold myself back. But that's definitely not a bad thing. I am going to stick with just doing the 5 micro workouts a day, so I don't want to accumulate too much time just for the sake of this experiment. But I think if someone were like a beginner getting into fitness, I think this is a great thing to want to kind of keep going. So whether that be, extending the micro workout from 1 minute to 2 minutes, or going outside and doing some kind of different activity, I think that's a good thing. The other thing I'm noticing is that I seem to have like quite a bit of energy. Sometimes when I would do my normal workouts, like I used to do, I would get like so sore that I'd be like tired and lethargic. But with these micro workouts, I don't really get sore. I just kind of have like steady energy throughout the day. So those are kind of the main things that I'm noticing. And then I just wanted to share one thing that I'm doing. Lately, I've been kind of putting my micro workouts closer to my meals. So I'll do a micro workout right before I have breakfast, and then pretty shortly after I have breakfast. And then I'll do the same thing for lunch. And I could do that for dinner as well. I like to do that. I just kind of feel like I'm utilizing the food better. Maybe I'm shuttling some of the nutrients to my muscles more efficiently than, say, if I were to just go from sitting to eating. I just wanted to give that quick update. I'm going to keep going with this experiment. I haven't weighed myself or anything since the beginning, but so far I'm liking this. I do want to work out more though, that's for sure. So yeah, I'll check in later. And so it continued. I would do micro workouts 5 times a day, 6 days a week for the rest of the experiment. As you can see here, I'm doing some more push-ups, and this is a fun exercise if you have some furniture movers. I like to do lying hamstring curls. They're harder than they look. And then often for squats, I would use my slant board just because of my Achilles injury. It made it easier. And then moving on, I would do sometimes, if my app told me to, under the desk rows. I like this exercise as well, but you definitely need to make sure you have a sturdy desk. Finally, here are some more push-ups. This is a fly variation that I would use my furniture movers with again. And so yeah, not too much to see here. This is the end of the experiment, and now I'm going to move on to measurements. So here I am again, weighing myself on my Hume Health scale. Once again, I've blurred my feet so you don't have to see them. And then we'll go over all the results in more details at the end of the video. I just want you to see that I gained a little bit of weight from 160.4 to 161.9. And I took more measurements as well. And now I'm going to do my final strength test. I'm going to warm up just like I did before. It's about the same time that it was when I did this on my first attempt on day 0. And I'm going to use the same weights too, the same like testing weights, just so we're comparing apples to apples. So here we go. Okay, just to show you, it is August 11th. Okay, so I skipped the warm-ups this time, or I skipped filming the warm-ups this time, but for bench press I get 9, so that's an improvement, and I'm pretty excited about it. For squats, same weight again, 225. Last time I got 7 reps, and this time I end up getting 9 reps. I was kind of surprised, but it's a pretty significant improvement, I think. And then on to pull-ups, again with 65 extra pounds. On this one, I don't really improve. I do get 9.5, so that's up from 8 or 8.5. I know my form isn't great, but it's the same for the test and retest. Finally, curls. I go from 12 curls to 18 curls with 55 pounds. So I was pretty happy about that. And I did do some bicep work with micro workouts. I would do towel curls in my doorway, for example. So a pretty big improvement. All right, that's the experiment. So I gained strength and I gained a little bit of weight, but we're gonna look a little bit further into the weight that I did gain. So like I said in the beginning, I used a few different vehicles to measure the differences in my body composition. I took my weight, I took measurements with my Renpho tape, and I measured my strength, and I took some before and after pictures. So if you look at the before and after pictures, you can see, it doesn't look like there's been a huge transformation here. And, I wasn't expecting one. But if we dive a little bit deeper into the findings, you can see that the results are pretty crazy, I think. So my Hume Health scale uses like electrical current to measure things like your skeletal muscle mass, body water, body fat, and things like that. And I know it's not terribly accurate, but I think it's pretty precise. So what I mean by that is if I were to step on and off the scale a bunch of times in a row, I would get the same results. I didn't want to use something that would give me wildly different results. For example, I got this scale before the Hume Health one that said, I was 28% body fat one night, and then the next morning it was 19% body fat, like way off, I think in terms of accuracy and precision. So anyways, to the results, as you can see in the beginning I was 160.4 pounds, and at the end I was 161.9 pounds. But according to the scale, I gained nearly 3 pounds of skeletal muscle mass and lost some body fat percentage from 13.1 to 12.5. Now, did I actually gain 3 pounds of muscle? I don't know, probably not. But I think my body is definitely beginning to build muscle. And I can tell that by the strength that I gained. And I can also tell that by the numbers on my Renpho measuring tape. So as you can see here, I gained some size in things like my neck, shoulder, biceps, even thighs, even my right calf. But my waist relatively remained unchanged. And I do think I did a lot of abs, so it's possible I built some muscle there, or began to build some muscle there, so maybe that's why the change isn't super apparent, but I don't know, I do feel like maybe I lost a little bit of body fat. And in terms of diet, I didn't track my macros or calories or anything, and I maybe ate a little bit more protein than normal. And I wasn't making a big deal out of keeping all the other variables the same because this is real life. Like, I think if someone were to start micro workouts, they would also want to improve their diet. And something as simple as eating more protein might help you build more muscle and maybe even burn more fat. Like I said, don't take my word for it. Try micro workouts yourself. It's kind of, for me even, it's hard to comprehend a little bit because it's such a paradigm shift. You see these influencers, fitness influencers, they work out for hours a day at the gym. They have their green kale smoothies and they wake up at 4 a.m. to take ice baths. But the truth is, you don't have to do all that. You can start small. And I think starting is the hardest part, obviously, so I think these micro workouts are perfect for someone getting into fitness and even for people who have been in fitness. I think, I've shown that it's possible to build muscle just with 5 minutes a day, which I think is pretty crazy. So anyways, I appreciate you watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment for the algorithm. I'd appreciate that. And I'll see you on the next one.